minus 5, minus 4, minus 3, minus 2, X minus 1. Fire.
Lights out, everybody. The creaking door.
Dimension X.
Inner Sanctum Mystery.
X minus 1.
Dark fantasy.
Hello everyone, welcome to Sci-Fi and Horror, brought to you by Dwayne Old Time Radio. Sci-Fi and Horror features some of the best programs from the golden age of radio, including X-1, Orbiter X, Dimension X, it's a lot of X's, Lights Out, Ray Bradbury, Dark Fantasy, and many, many more. Before we start today's sci-fi and horror thriller, if you enjoy what I'm doing, let me ask you to subscribe to my channel. Subscribing is 100% free, and you will receive notifications on new posts. Lastly, if you have a moment, please write a short 1 or 2 sentence review or give a rating on your preferred podcast service. A positive review or rating would help me out a lot. And now, on to the show. And again, thank you for your support. Hope you enjoy. This week, we are going to wrap up Orbiter X. Hooray, huzzah, hooray. Orbiter X. This is going to be the last 3 episodes of Orbiter X. I'm going to do 2 in one post and the last one in the final post. But they are all going to be posted today. The 12th episode of Orbiter X is titled Building the Space Station. The 12th episode of Orbiter X is titled Building the Space Station. That aired December 14th, 1959. The 13th episode is titled The Net Closes, which aired December 21st, 1959. And the final episode of Orbiter X is The Final Round, and that aired a few days after Christmas, December 28th, 1959. That is the 14th episode.
Orbiter X. Episode 12, Building the Space Station. At the headquarters of the Commomwealth Space Project, Woomera, Captain Bob Britton, Mac, and Hickey are asked to fly back to the components of the Orbiter X space station, where Max Kramer, the leader of Unity, believes they are still waiting for him. When he returns, they are to plant a miniature radio beacon aboard his ship so that its movements can be traced from the ground. They are also to help him with the assembly of the space station. And, on its completion, they will send a signal to Woomera and make their getaway aboard a space chariot. The station is then to be taken over by a task force directed by Colonel Kent. Bob and the team agree to undertake their mission, and they are flown out to Orbiter X in a CSP ship which is screened by experimental deflectors. Shortly after they've been put aboard the workshop rocket at an altitude of 1,000 miles, Kramer's ship ranges alongside, and they fear he may have seen them arrive. Their fears increase, as speaking over the intercom, he orders them to join him without delay.
You have had your instructions. Carry them out. I want you here at once, because you have quite a lot of explaining to do.
Right, Mac. Right, Hickey. Well, this looks like it.
Yeah, we must have been spotted.
Yes, but we've still got a job to do. And if we cross to his ship, Unity 5, We can at least carry out the first part of it. We can plant the beacon.
Yes, and I ought to be the one to do it, because you two will have to do most of the talking.
Yeah, he's got something there, Bob.
You see,
yes.
While you're trying to explain that we really haven't been away from here at all, and Kramer must have been seeing a mirage, I'll have chance to hide the beacon.
Okay, Hickey, here it is. Slip it into your pocket.
Thanks, Bob.
And don't forget to switch it on when you plant it in Kramer's cabin. Try and hide it somewhere behind the paneling.
Okay.
Captain Britton, we are waiting for you. I ordered you to come over immediately. Why the delay?
Quiet, chaps. I'm switching on my helmet transmitter. Hello, Dr. Kramer. After leaving us in zero gravity so long, you can hardly expect us to move quickly. We've checked our pressure suits. We're preparing to enter the airlock now.
Then hurry up.
All right, fellas. I've cut the transmitter again. We can talk freely. Grab your jet pistols and we'll cross over.
Okay.
One point, Bob.
Yes?
What shall we do with the portable deflector set?
Well, it's as safe here as anywhere. It looks like a standard toolbox, and the unitists aren't likely to start taking it to pieces.
No, I suppose not.
Right. Close helmets and turn on intercom. And remember, from now on, Kramer will be able to hear us. So be careful what you say.
Okay.
All right, let's go then.
Okay, Bob.
Kramer's ship is pretty close, so we probably won't need to use our jet pistols to get across.
Hello, Captain Britton.
Yes, Kramer.
You will not require jet pistols. You will leave them behind in the airlock.
Very well, if you say so. Pressure zero, Mac.
Right.
The hatch of our airlock is open and ready for you.
So I see.
Oh, look at the Earth down there. The sun's just coming up over the coast of Africa.
Never mind Africa, Hickey. Just concentrate on that open hatch. Are you ready?
Yes, ready.
Then, over we go.
All aboard Unity 5.
Into the airlock. Close up.
Remember the first time we went through this routine, Bob?
Yes, I'll say I do. A lot's happened since then.
Yes, it has.
Pressure normal. Helmets off. Okay, Mac. Open the hatch.
So, you are here at last.
Yes, Kramer. And to begin with, I think you owe us an explanation. What was the idea of leaving us stranded for a week?
There was trouble with our interference transmitter. We had to get back to Earth headquarters quickly.
You could have told us, couldn't you?
We didn't consider it necessary at the time, did we, Gilbin?
No, we had more urgent matters to think about.
I see. Well, what sort of explanations do you expect from me?
Can't you guess?
No?
My dear Britton, you're not really stupid. You know perfectly well what we want to talk to you about.
I haven't the least idea.
Then why do you think we're here? Look at the vision screen. What do you see?
The component rockets of Orbiter X.
Well?
Well?
We want a description of their contents and the method of assembly.
The assembly?
You find that amusing, McClelland?
No. Zero G's got me, don't worry.
You had better control yourself. Go on, Gilbin.
Now then, Britton. If you look at the tracking screen, you will see we are not alone. We are, in fact, being joined by 6 more Unity ships.
Yes, I see them.
They are carrying the assembly crews who will work with you on the space station. At the moment, they are forming up alongside us. When they are in position, you will give us all a general idea of the assembly program.
Yes, all right.
Now, what we say will be broadcast on restricted transmission to our other ships. So I want you to be brief and to the point.
Okay.
How many men are there on each assembly crew?
6 or 7. And as far as possible, we shall keep them together in teams.
Yes, we can do that, all right. But with all these ships of yours so close to the Earth, well, surely they're bound to be seen. I know about your electronic screens, but what about visual observation, Kramer?
There is no cause for alarm, Captain Britton. You see, our deflectors serve a dual purpose. To a limited extent, they affect radar reflections, and we use them in conjunction with the interference transmissions. but they also deflect light waves.
Ah, so that's it.
Yes. The effect is not apparent at close quarters, but I assure you that our ships are quite invisible from the Earth.
Here, wait a minute. What about the Orbiter X components? When we start moving them around, won't the people down there see that something's going on?
No. The components will be fitted with deflectors, and as they are moved, their present positions will be taken by substitutes made of thin metal foil.
Ah, so even when the station's assembled, it won't be seen from the ground?
No. Your ground forces will have no idea that it has been assembled.
Hello, Unity 5. This is Escort Commander calling Unity 5. The formation is now in position.
Thank you, Escort Commander. Stand by for instructions.
Right. Captain Britton, you can start by giving us a general picture of Orbiter X as it will look when it's assembled.
That's all right. Well, it'll take the form of a wheel 200 feet across.
Yes?
The hub in the middle will be joined to the rim by 2 spokes. And the inside of the rim, which will be about 25 feet across, will contain our laboratories, workshops, living accommodation, and so on.
The main entrance will be in the hub, of course.
Yes, the crew will go in through an airlock in the hub, and lifts will then carry them along inside the spokes and through to the different departments in the rim.
I take it there's some provision for artificial gravity?
Well, the people who are actually inside the rim will have the full benefit of that, because the whole station will revolve steadily around the hub.
Yes, and while we're on the subject of movement, Britton, as the station is set in a near-polar orbit, it will continue to circle the Earth in slightly less than 2 hours, correct?
Yes, that's true.
And because the Earth itself is spinning, every part of its surface will be visible from the station every day, yes?
Yes, as a matter of fact, our main telescope will be able to pick out objects no more than a foot apart from one another.
Which shows just how important the station will be as an observation platform. Its assembly is, in fact, a vital step towards establishing our unity world government. Now, Britton, a preliminary word about the assembly.
Well, at the moment, we're more or less in the middle of the cluster of rockets which contain the station components.
Mm-hmm.
Our job is to open them up, fit them together into the complete unit.
And where do we start?
Well, as you see, each rocket has a number on it. Number 1, which is alongside us, houses the central workshops.
Yeah?
We should actually start on numbers 2 and 3, because they make up the central hub of the station.
Right. Escort Commander, do you understand? Our first 2 teams will work on the hub.
We understand, sir.
At the same time, the other teams can work on the next 4 rockets, which make up the spokes.
Good.
After the hub and the spokes have been assembled, our entire working force should then concentrate on the next 20 rockets.
Right.
They're carrying the plastic self-sealing material, which has to be blown up to form the rim of the wheel.
Mm-hmm.
It's rather like the inner tube of a motor car tyre.
Yeah, and the tread on the tyre is made from the rockets themselves. They form a bumper against meteorites.
Yes, that's right. And to complete the picture, the remaining rockets in the cluster are carrying the solar generators, scientific equipment, and most of the gear that's needed for the research centre and the space terminal.
Excellent.
There's just one other point.
Yes?
The men will travel between the rockets on small transporters, which we call space chariots.
I see.
But they'll actually steer the components into position with their ordinary jet pistols. Yes, I think that's about all.
Thank you. The assembly crews will now leave their ships and report to the central workshops for more detailed instructions. Are there any questions?
No, sir. We shall report to workshops immediately.
Yes, and don't forget, bring your own oxygen.
Hello, Hickey.
You seem very pleased with yourself, Hicks.
Eh? Well, as an ex-petty officer, I'm rather looking forward to getting down to work.
You are you?
Yes, on the assembly teams. They don't know they've been born yet. They're going to work harder and faster than they've ever worked in their lives. That's if you'll give me a free hand with them.
What do you say, Dr. Kramer?
We seem to have overlooked one of our friend's outstanding qualities. Yes, Hicks. Within reason, you have a free hand. But remember, we shall be watching you.
Aye, aye. But if you float around too much, I'll have you on the job as well.
That's enough. Get into the airlock, all of you, and go back to the workshops. We shall follow.
All right, chaps. Into the lock. Have you done the job, Hickey?
Yes, I've planted the beacon.
Good man.
That was a piece of cake. I only hope they'll hear the signals at Woomera.
Report from number 1 landing platform, Colonel Kent.
Yes?
Captain Knight's coming straight along to the control room.
Well, was his mission successful?
Well, he told the platform officer he thinks it was.
Well, doesn't he know?
Apparently, he put Captain Britton and the others off close to Orbiter X, but he had to get away quickly.
If anything's gone wrong, Sir Charles, I won't forgive myself for sending those fellows back.
No. Perhaps we should have followed a more orthodox line of attack. But if we came out into the open, this man Kramer would certainly be driven to action.
Yes, he'd start his campaign right away.
What are the latest observatory reports on Orbiter X?
Negative, sir. There's no signs of any intruders out there.
And yet the interference transmissions are going on?
Yeah, they are.
So these Unity people are obviously screening some monkey business.
Sir Charles, if Britain has put the beacon aboard Kramer's ship, and if we're able to track the signals back to the Earth and find the location of the Unity headquarters, what then?
Well, the headquarters must be in somebody's country, so officially we should bring the matter to the attention of the United Nations.
Ah, dear. And again, Kramer would be in action. He'd be launching missiles on the world before the first debate even started.
I rather imagine he would.
Well, so what's the answer, unofficially?
We have missiles of our own, of course.
That's what I was thinking.
But a small mobile force of experienced troops could be dropped into the headquarters, and they might be more effective in destroying the Unity organization. You see, they could probably find a list of the members who are working in different parts of the world, perhaps from Russia to America and the Commonwealth itself.
That's true, yes.
Colonel Kent, the beacon signals are coming through.
What?
Yes, listen.
This is magnificent.
Yes.
Get the direction finders onto them right away.
So Captain Britton's really pulled it off.
Yes, and he hasn't wasted much time.
According to DF, Colonel, the signals are coming from Orbiter X, but there's nothing to be seen out there.
That means the Unity ships have got visual screens.
Yes, and it explains why Captain Knight had to come back fast. He could only just have got to the space station ahead of Kramer.
Well, it proves a most important point, Kent. Our deflectors really work.
Yes, they do.
If they weren't 100% effective, Kramer would have spotted Knight's ship and it wouldn't be back here now. We wouldn't be hearing these signals either.
Right you are.
So when our whole fleet is fitted out with them, we really shall be able to go into action. And for the first time, the element of surprise will be on our side.
Hello, Bob.
Hello.
Yeah. You look worried. What's wrong?
Plenty. Is anybody else here in the workshop?
No, just the three of us.
Good. Gelbin has just told me that Kramer and his ship are going to stay put right here until Orbiter X is complete.
Oh, no.
So the beacon will go on using up its batteries and sending out DF signals that won't get our ground boys anywhere. By the time Kramer does fly back to his headquarters, batteries will be exhausted.
Well, can't we think of some excuse for getting him to go back now?
Yeah, there must be something we can do.
Well, yes, I think there is. We've got to get the beacon out of Unity 5 and transfer it to one of the other ships.
Ah, yes.
You see, they seem to take it in turn to go back to their headquarters and collect supplies.
Yeah, that's right.
Now, I'm almost certain Unity 7 is probably the next one to make the trip. And when it does, it's going to take the beacon with it.
So I've got to get aboard Kramer's ship and pick it up, right?
Yes. You know where you left it?
Yeah, sure. I lodged it behind the panelling in one of the lockers.
Good. Can you get it out fairly easily?
I don't know. I'll try.
Okay, now I'll tell you what we'll do. I want to move fast because Kramer's alone on the ship at the moment. I'll come over with you, Hickey.
Uh-huh.
We can make the excuse that we want to give him a progress report on Orbiter X.
Yes.
I'll give him some guff about the way the components are being moved around. Now, while I'm holding his attention, it's up to you to do your stuff.
All right. I'll have a go.
Good. But whatever you do, don't let him catch you out. If that happens, he'll cotton on to the whole plan. He might even launch an attack on Woomera. You understand?
Yes, I say I do.
Can I come with you, Bob?
No, I think two of us is enough, Mac. If we all go, Kramer might be suspicious, and we don't want to strain his confidence too far. As it is, Hickey and I might just about get away with it.
I appreciate your enthusiasm, Captain Britton, but in future, you will make proper arrangements before boarding my ship.
Yes, I'm sorry, Dr. Kramer.
And come alone next time.
Yes. I only brought Hicks along because he's so much in contact with the assembly teams.
Yes, that's right. I'm afraid they're getting a bit careless.
Oh? What do you mean?
Well, the thing is, if the components are moved into position too fast, you can't always stop them at the right moment. It's the old business of inertia, you know.
Go on.
Yes. Well, the truth is, you see, the men have been pushing the stuff around much too fast. And the central hub of the station has taken some very hefty knocks from the spokes before they were locked into position.
Was there any damage?
No, not a lot, but if this sort of thing goes on...
All right. I'll speak to the teams myself.
We would appreciate it. If you could just come over here and look at the central monitor now. You'll see two teams bringing a couple of sections of the rim together. You may see the sort of thing that happens.
Yes, quite. I understand.
Of course, it's pretty uncomfortable working inside pressure suits, you know. I mean, for hours on end. So I can't altogether blame the men when they do misjudge their speed and distances.
They are taking things steadily enough at the moment.
Yes. Yes, I'm glad to see they are. We'll watch them carefully.
What's happening?
It's all right, don't worry.
Hicks, what are you doing at that locker?
The door was open. I just brushed against
Come away! What have you got in your hands?
Yeah, turn it up.
Here, Hickey, what is it? Let me see.
Britton, stand aside. Now, Hicks, show me what you've got there.
What are you getting at, Kramer? Do you think I'm a thief?
Now, take it easy, Hickey.
Get out of the way, Captain Britton. Hicks, I order you to let me see your hands.
Now, look here, I don't like being accused.
Do as I say.
All right. There you are. I've got nothing.
Huh?
I hope you're satisfied.
I shall examine the locker.
Oh, go ahead. If you think there's anything missing, you're wrong.
Very well. Everything seems to be there.
Of course it is.
Now get out.
Okay.
And you, Britton, you can come back with your report. And come back alone.
All right, I'll do that. I better get into the airlock, Hickey.
Okay, Bob.
You nearly gave me a heart failure, chum. Did you get the thing?
Yes, but the case sprang open. I had to let it go. It slipped behind the panelling. There isn't a hope of getting it now.
No.
Anyway, I'm afraid the beacon's probably busted.
Come in.
Forgive me bursting in on you like this, Sir Charles, but I got some unpleasant news for you.
Oh? Oh. What is it, Kent?
Well, I'm sorry to say the beacon transmissions have finally stopped.
Oh. That's bad. I suppose the batteries have run out.
Well, they shouldn't have yet. No, I think the gadget must have developed a fault. It could have been knocked. Anything could have happened.
You don't think Kramer may have discovered it, do you?
No, we would almost certainly have been in serious trouble. Kramer's no fool. If he'd found the beacon, he would very quickly have put two and two together. He'd have realized that we were after him. I've no doubt at all he would have taken violent countermeasures right away.
Yes, I'm sure he would. So we can assume that Bob Britton and his chaps are still safe?
Yes, I think so.
I hope you're right. And assuming you are, all we can do now is to wait until they send the signal that the space station is complete.
Well, that's what I wanted to talk to you about. You know, things have a habit of going wrong. We hoped that the beacon will give us the location of Unity headquarters, but Kramer has obviously stayed with Orbiter X. Now, in the same way, there might be a hold-up in the next part of our plan. We might never get the signal from Bob.
So you'd like to fly out to Orbiter X and see what's going on, is that it?
Why, yes. How did you know?
I do have ideas of my own occasionally, and this one had occurred to me.
Well, what did you say? My ship will be perfectly screened by the deflectors, and I shall be able to see exactly what's going on up there. With a bit of luck, I might even manage to shadow one of the Unity ships back to its headquarters.
It's a nice idea, Kent, but far too risky. You said yourself that things have a habit of going wrong. And if the Unities spotted you, we really would be in trouble.
But,
No, we are not sending up any ships until the whole fleet has been fitted out. Not only with deflectors, but with armaments as well. How's the work going, by the way?
Well, it should be finished within a week.
Well, there you are. After that, we can put a complete task force into space. It could go up, destroy any Unity ships in its way, and take over the station. The trouble is, of course, a plan like this might be disastrous for Bob Britton and his team.
Yes, it might well be.
But I think we shall be hearing from them fairly soon. Although we can't see anything going on out there, I'm ready to take a bet that the station's almost complete.
Well, there must be some very clever camouflage.
Yes, and behind that camouflage, Orbiter X is growing. We must give our chaps time to let us know when it's finished, and time for them to get aboard their chariot and cross to Orbiter 1. Then we'll pick them up as arranged, and after that we can get busy on Mr. Kramer.
But what if we don't get the signal from Britton?
You know, there are times when you depress me, Kent. All right, we'll give him another week. If we haven't heard from him by then, I shall have to seek permission to launch the attack.
Well, chaps, what do you think of our space station now it's more or less complete?
I can't say I feel very happy about it, Bob.
Neither can I.
Gives me a funny sort of feeling standing here quietly in the control room, right inside the rim of Orbiter X. It's a bit lonely, isn't it?
Yes, I know. This is going to be quite an occasion when the job was completed.
Yes, quite a Victory Day celebration with worldwide radio and television hookups and ships coming and going with VIPs.
Yeah, those that could stand the journey.
That's true enough. Think of the headlines. The completion of Orbiter X. Man's first step to the stars.
The Commonwealth Space Station opens its airlocks to the astronauts of the world. I don't think.
Still, I suppose we mustn't be depressed. Our boys aren't going to let the Unity people stay here. You can bet your life on that.
Sure. Tell me, Bob, when are you going to switch on that pocket transmitter of yours and let the boys at home know that the station's all ready to be taken over?
Well, all in good time, Mac. Hold on. Orbiter X Control, Britton speaking.
Hello, Britton. This is Commander Gelvin.
Yes, Gelvin.
You'll be pleased to know that Dr. Kramer is interested in that little matter we discussed. We shall be moving very shortly. You know what to do?
Yes, okay. Thank you.
Well, what's that all about?
Yes, what have you been talking to Gelvin about, Bob?
Don't worry. It simply means that the time has come for us to get out of here. You've got a chariot standing by outside the station airlock, haven't you?
Yeah, and I've worked out the navigation. Orbiter 1's course is converging with ours right now. If we can get away on the chariot quickly, the crossing shouldn't be too bad.
That's fine.
But what's this business you've got with Gelvin? I don't understand it.
You will. Come on, let's step on the lift and make that daring little trip up the spoke to the central hub. Come on.
Here we go, then.
Yeah, all aboard for the Tunnel of Love.
Hold on.
Yeah, I must say, this would be a riot at Blackpool. You feel as if you're falling, don't you?
Yeah, that's because the artificial gravity decreases as we move further away from the rim. When we arrive at the hub, we'll be weightless again. So switch on your magnet.
Okay.
Right, chaps. Prepare to get into the airlock. Now, have you got everything you need?
No, not quite. No, I hid the deflector set away with some stores here. Now, it must be somewhere around. Let's see.
You got it?
Yes.
Good. Now, you know what to do. You board the chariot and start collecting some of the debris left over from the assembly work. The unitists will think you're doing your normal job, but all the time you'll be moving further away. Then, when you think it's safe, you'll switch on the deflector and head out for Orbiter 1 as fast as you can.
Yeah, but what about the signal getting back to Woomera?
Don't you worry. I'll see to that, all right?
But you're talking as if you weren't coming with us.
As a matter of fact, chaps, I'm not.
What?
You serious, Bob?
Absolutely. You see, I've got... Listen. Kramer and Gelbin are coming up on the other lift. Now, I've got to talk fast. I must get my transmitter onto their ship. When I do, it'll act as another beacon. And Woomera should be able to locate Unity headquarters at last.
Yeah, but how the dickens are you going to get it aboard the ship? At any moment, Kramer and Gelbin will be leaving for their headquarters.
They are. They're going right now. And believe it or not, Mac, they've agreed to take me with them.
That ends the 12th episode of Orbiter X, an adventure in the conquest of space by B.D. Chapman. It was produced for the BBC by Charles Maxwell.
Orbiter X. Episode 13. The Net Closes. Aboard the space station Orbiter X, high above the surface of the Earth, Captain Bob Britton prepares to carry out the final stages of the mission entrusted to him by Colonel Kent and the authorities of the Commonwealth Space Project at Woomera. Although the plan to locate Unity headquarters has failed, Bob's duty now is to send a signal to Woomera indicating that the Unitists have completed work on the station, and he, together with Douglas McClelland and flight engineer Hicks, are about to make their getaway in a space chariot. As they reach the airlock of the station by lift and prepare to leave, Mac and Hickey are astonished when Bob announces that he will not be coming with them.
Listen. Kramer and Gelbin are coming up in the other lift. I've got to talk fast. I must get my transmitter onto their ship. When I do, it'll act as another beacon, and Woomera should be able to locate Unity headquarters at last.
And how the dickens are you going to get it aboard the ship? At any moment, Kramer and Gelbin might be leaving for their headquarters.
They are. They're leaving right now. And believe it or not, Mac, they've agreed to take me with them.
What?
Hickey, don't forget to take the deflector box with you. You'll need it to screen the chariot.
Okay, Bob.
What are McClelland and Hicks doing here, Britton? There is no question of them coming with us.
No, of course not, Kramer. They've got some work to do outside.
Oh, and what precisely is this work, Hicks?
Well, there's a lot of stuff left over from the assembly job, you know, bits and pieces floating all over the place. We're just going to trot around with one of the chariots and pick them all up.
Very well. And after that, you will report to Captain Holst for further instructions. He will be in charge while we are away. And I may add, he will be keeping an eye on you.
Protection, eh?
Yes, what about that, Kramer? I take it you're leaving some guard ships with Orbiter X?
Yes. One ship will remain here on duty. The remainder will return with us to headquarters to collect cargo.
What sort of cargo?
Armaments and equipment for the station. And as Captain Britton knows its construction so well, I agreed that he should help us with the selection of the gear. Now, open the airlock. In you go. If you men are going to the space chariots, you'd better come too.
Okay.
We're leaving now, are we, Gelbin?
Yes, Britton. We're crossing to our ship right away.
Close your helmets and shut the inner hatch.
Okay.
Check helmet intercom, Gelbin.
Right. All correct.
Everything okay, fellas?
Yeah.
Okay, Bob.
Now, open the air valve.
Oh, I see you're taking a box with you, Hicks. What's inside it, may I ask?
Sandwiches. What? Tools, of course. You never catch me riding a chariot without them.
We must look into that.
What's that?
The chariots should be more reliable.
Yes, of course they should. Still, they were only meant for pottering around on.
Quite.
Pressure 0. Open the outer hatch, Britton.
Right.
You know, Gelbin, great mechanical achievements never fail to stir me. Just look. Here we are standing in the hub of a great wheel, 1,000 miles above the surface of the Earth. And inside the rim of the wheel, a handful of men can live and work and shape the destiny of the whole world.
Wonderful.
And each day, they'll be able to examine every square foot of the globe down there. From now on, nothing can be hidden from the eyes of Unity. Nothing.
Bob, have you any final instructions for us?
No, I don't think so, Mac. Everything's clear, isn't it?
Yes, our job's simple enough.
Sure. We'll just go ahead.
Good.
We shall need our jet pistols to cross over to the ship, Britton. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready. Sure, Mac. Bye, Hickey.
All the best.
See you soon, Bob.
All right, Gelbin. All right, Britton. Here we go.
Well, that's that, Hickey. I've just switched over to telephone intercom. We can speak freely.
Thank goodness. all this is a bit of a shake-up.
That's putting it mildly.
What beats me is why Bob didn't put us in the picture earlier.
I think he was afraid we'd talk him into taking us with him.
Yes, I suppose so.
But we'd better get cracking, and let's hope that Bob has started transmitting the signal.
And that the boys at Woomera are listening for it.
How's the interference level, Brown?
Just the same, sir.
And still nothing on the special sound channel?
No, not a thing.
Any news, anybody?
Ah, it's you, Captain Knight.
Yes, sir.
No, I'm afraid there's nothing to report. That ship of yours must just about be taking root out there on the launching platform.
Yes, it has been ready for takeoff for rather a long time. In fact, the ground staff are talking about planting a few creepers round it. Yes, well, do you think we shall ever get the call-up signal from Bob, Colonel Kent?
Well, I think so, but the Minister seems to have given up hope. He's actually gone into Canberra to discuss a new plan of action.
Or something big, do you mean?
Yes. You see, the whole fleet is now fitted out with arms and deflectors, and it could give a pretty good account of itself.
Yes, I'll say it could.
And with the new radio equipment, our transmitters can be heard over the interference without the unitists being any the wiser. So the element of surprise will be completely on our side.
Colonel Kent, listen! There's something coming through on the special channel.
Huh? By George, yes, at last, the signal we've been waiting for. Brown, make sure the direction finders get onto it right away.
Okay, Colonel. Hello, DF. Check transmission on special channel, please. Urgent.
So this is Bob's signal.
Yes, and you know what it means? Orbiter X is complete and the boys are crossing over to Orbiter 1.
Can I have permission to take off and pick them up, sir?
Just a moment. We'll check the origin first.
Direction finders say the transmission is definitely coming from Orbiter X, sir.
Good. You can get down to the launching platform, Captain Knight.
Thank you. I'm on my way.
Hold it 1 second, Chris.
Why? What's wrong?
The transmitter sending this signal is moving.
So is Orbiter X.
Yes, but it's moving away from Orbiter X.
What?
DF are feeding a tracking chart through to us now, sir. Look, it's coming up on the central monitor.
Yes, I see.
What do you make of it, sir?
Well, I think I know what's happened. Yes, Bob must have realized that the original beacon he put onto Kramer's ship had packed up, so he's replaced it with the pocket transmitter.
Then we're actually watching the track of Kramer's ship right now.
Yes.
You mean we can follow it right down to his HQ and find exactly where the location is?
Yes, the whole situation has suddenly turned in our favor. Brown, get a line to Canberra for me straight away. I must tell the Minister about this before he goes into his conference.
Right, sir.
Captain Knight, you're in business after all. Go ahead and take off for Orbiter 1. The sooner you bring those boys back here, the better. And don't forget to keep in constant radio touch on the special channel. I want to know exactly what's happening all the time.
Well, we're clear of the space station, Hickey, old boy. If my navigation's right, we ought to pick up Orbiter 1 on bearing ZN74TK5.
Yes.
Anyway, concentrate your radar sweep in that area.
Okay, Mac, but the interference is all over the screen. We won't be able to see anything much until we're practically on top of it.
Can't be helped. We'll just keep to our course, hope for the best.
This reminds me of the time we used a chariot to get aboard Orbiter 2. Bob was with us then.
Yes, I remember. You said it was a pity we couldn't have a picture of ourselves. 3 little men in spacesuits sitting on a sort of flying car chassis with a couple of tiddly little jets stuck on the back.
And now there's only 2 little men. Ah, well, we haven't finished with Kramer yet.
We haven't started, you wait. If Bob's plan works and CSP find Unity headquarters, my bet is Kramer's had it.
Yes, and I reckon you're right.
And if we can get back to Woomera and tell Colonel Kent that there's only one guard ship on duty on Orbiter X, the CSP fleet can come out and take it over without too much trouble.
She'll be a piece of cake. I don't think that Unity fellow, what's his name, Captain Holtz, can be a very bright spark.
Well, they gave him the slip, all right. I suppose he didn't have a chance of tracking us when we turned on the deflector set.
He's probably written us off as lost in space.
I don't suppose he's going into mourning.
Hey, I was saying, look, Mac, there's something on the screen. Look.
Where?
A couple of blips. You can just see them between the interference ripples. They're moving
yeah.
towards one another.
Yes, I see them. Yeah. Orbiter 1 in the relief ship. They can't be anything else. Open the jets, Hickey.
Right.
Give them full boost. There's no speed limit here, my boy.
Hello, CSP. This is Orbiter 3 calling CSP Woomera. Are you receiving me? Come in, please.
CSP answering you, Orbiter 3. Yes, we are receiving you. Your new transmitter is loud and clear.
Good. Colonel Kent, I've reached the rendezvous and 2 men aboard a space chariot are coming alongside my airlock.
Only 2?
Yes, I haven't been able to identify them yet. They've now entered the lock. They'll be through into the cabin in a moment. Stand by, please.
Standing by. Keep your transmitter switched on.
Right, sir, I will. Here they come. It's Mac and Hickey. Welcome aboard, fellows.
Chris, hello.
Good to see you, sir.
It's good to see you. Colonel Kent's listening on the radio.
Hello, Mac. Hello, Hickey. Once again, welcome aboard.
Thank you, sir. I didn't expect to hear you.
Thank you, sir. It's great to be here.
What's happened to Bob?
He's aboard Kramer's ship.
He's what?
I say, is it quite safe to talk on the radio? I mean, can't the unitists hear us?
No, don't worry. We've got a new system of transmission. I don't understand the technical details, but it works on the same principle as the pocket transmitter that's Bob's using.
Ah, so you know all about that?
Yes. You see, the DF boys at Woomera are getting his signal all right, but we never guessed he was on the transmitting end himself. Why didn't he come with you?
I'm afraid it wasn't possible. He knew the ship would get underway as soon as he went aboard. Colonel Kent, I want you to know that Bob knew what the consequences might be for himself. But that didn't stop him going ahead.
Just what I would have expected of him, Mac. A very fine action, and it looks like succeeding. Our direction finders are following the ship down into the atmosphere now. It's made one complete circuit of the Earth, and if it follows its present course, it will land somewhere in South America.
South America? We wondered if the headquarters might be there after we took off in Kramer's moonship.
We hope to be able to pinpoint the HQ quite soon.
That's marvelous.
Mac, we take it that Orbiter X is completely assembled. Is that right?
Yes, I should have told you. There's only one guard ship with it, sir. And if you can send up a task force quickly, this is the time to take it over.
Thank you. That is most important information. Is there anything else you have to report immediately?
Well, I've an idea that would involve Captain Knight. I don't know how you feel about this, Chris.
What is it, Mac?
Well, although we don't know where the Unity headquarters are just yet, Hickey and I have been there, and we know the layout pretty well.
Yes, we do, and I think I know what you're going to say, Mac.
Once CSP tell us the exact location, I was wondering if Chris would land us somewhere in the area.
Yes, that's it. The country is mountainous. We could probably touch down within 10 miles of the HQ without being spotted.
Exactly. And you and I could then make our way to the headquarters and get in through the back door. Do you remember how Kramer brought us out through those tunnels?
Yes, of course. We could go in by the same route. And with a bit of luck, we'd find Bob and bring him back to the ship.
What do you say, Chris?
Well, I'm for it, but there is one point. After we land, I'll come to the headquarters with you.
Colonel Kent, did you hear all that?
Yes. And I may say that our conversation is being piped through to Canberra, where a special committee is also listening. I am consulting the minister now.
Oh, I'd have put on my telephone voice if I'd known.
Oh, I hope I haven't mucked up our chances.
No, it's a great idea, Mac. And after we've landed, we can use the rotorcycles.
Motorcycles?
No, you clod. Rotorcycles.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you know, the one-man helicopters.
Yeah.
I've got a couple on board. They're part of the new issue to all ships now in case of emergency landings in out-of-the-way places.
Well, they are. That's just the job.
Hello, Orbiter 3. Mac, your suggestion has been accepted.
Thank you, sir.
Good-o.
But you will check with me before landing. And Captain Knight must remain with the ship. Is that clear?
As you say, sir.
Very well. Our direction finders indicate that Kramer's ship is now preparing to land. I will give you its position and the course you must follow. Stand by.
You seem very interested in our destination, Captain Britton.
Obviously. I guess that your headquarters might be in South America, but I still can't see exactly where you're heading.
We are heading towards the small republic of Kazala.
Kazala? Oh, so that's it.
Yes. When I founded the Unity organization, I realized that I should have to establish my headquarters in a small country whose government would be prepared to cooperate with me. I approached the president of Kazala and explained the position.
Weren't you taking rather a chance?
No. I knew my man, and I knew he valued his life. Also, he was interested in the fact that power no longer depends on the size of a country's population. With the help of science, a small country can lead the whole world.
Check your safety straps. I am about to open the retrojets for the touchdown.
Good. We are over Kazala now, Britton. As you see, it's almost entirely mountains and jungle.
Yes.
Perfect camouflage for the Unity headquarters.
The headquarters are immediately below us. You can see the landing zone.
EHQ calling Unity 5. You are now on the approach beam. We are taking over your controls for landing.
Thank you, EHQ. Over to you.
The landing routine is now carried out entirely from the ground.
I can't see much down there.
No. The headquarters are mostly below ground. Only a few buildings are visible from the air.
They're well camouflaged.
We have no wish to draw attention to ourselves.
What about the local population?
There were a few Indians there, but they have been moved away.
Prepare for touchdown! There we are. Right outside the entrance to the main hangar.
Open the exit hatch, Gilvin.
All right. Now, follow me, Captain Britton.
Oh, the gravity's almost overpowering after being in space so long.
We shall soon get used to it. Come into headquarters before our escort ships land. Their retrojets can be highly dangerous from the moment they begin their approach runs.
Okay. You know, Kramer, I didn't expect you'd let me see all this.
But we aren't taking any chances with you. In due course, you will be going through an examination which is designed to test your loyalty.
Oh, what do you mean?
We mean that you cannot become a member of Unity until we have looked into your subconscious mind and satisfied ourselves that you really are dedicated to the cause of Unity world government. Now we turn into the main corridor.
Ah, yes, I remember this. I remember the sound of the generators, too. Hey, tell me, when are you proposing to carry out this examination?
Why? Are you worried?
Yes, of course I am. What methods do you use?
We don't disclose them until after the test. And we do not tell our candidates when the test is to begin.
First, we will go into the information room.
Ah, Dr. Kramer, Commander Gelpin. I am glad to see you back at last.
In you go, Britton.
And you have Captain Britton with you.
Yes. Still here, I see, Dr. Ravel.
Of course.
As you know, Britton has been of some help to us. He may join the organization, subject to test, of course.
Oh, I see.
Have you been in touch with Moonbase?
Yes, all is well. But all is not well at the headquarters of the Commomwealth Space Project.
What's happened?
It looks as if Captain Bradley has defected.
What?
The contact warned us about him in the last signal from Australia. He said that he would call back with more information, but we've heard nothing. I've had a monitoring service working for the past 24 hours, but there's still no word. I'm afraid the contact may have been picked up by the Australian security people.
Here, what do you mean by Bradley defecting? Where is he?
Don't ask too many questions, Britton. It might be unwise at this stage.
Hello, information room?
This is the senior maintenance officer. Is Dr. Kramer there?
Yes, I am.
I am speaking from your ship on the landing platform, sir. We have this moment discovered an unusual piece of electronic equipment inside a locker in the control cabin.
Well, what is it?
It is difficult to say until we have examined it in detail. It seems to be some sort of radio set, but we cannot measure any transmissions from it. Perhaps, sir, you could tell me what this thing is.
This seems extraordinary, Gilbin. Did we have any experimental gear on board?
No, nothing like that. There must be some mistake.
Nevertheless, we must check. Hello, maintenance?
Yes, sir.
We will come over and check this equipment right away. Come along, Gilbin. And you, Britton, you will stay right here until we return.
CSP, Woomera calling Orbiter 3.
Orbiter 3 answering you, CSP.
Listen carefully. Our direction finders have now tracked the beacon transmissions to Earth. Kramer's ship has landed in the small South American republic of Kazala. The bearings of his HQ from your position are QJ54TX9. Repeat, please.
QJ54TX9. Mark that on the chart, Mac.
Okay.
You will see from the chart that the location is well concealed by the natural contours of the country.
Yes, it is too.
Yes, there seem to be mountain ranges all round it.
I suggest that you land in the region of Mount Cassis. Will you check that, please?
Mount Cassis. Yes, I've got it. About 18 miles southeast of Unity headquarters. Can you make a landing on the flat ground to the north, Chris?
I should think so. According to the chart, sir, it looks pretty deserted.
Good. Now listen. When you reach the headquarters, your first consideration will be for Captain Britton. Next, you will obtain such information as you can about the Unity organization. If possible, get a list of members. Finally, you will carry out sabotage to the best of your ability.
Understood, sir.
Right. Go in and land. Good luck, Orbiter 3.
Oh, what a dump you've brought us to, Chris. Everything's grey like slate. Mountains and all. It's a bit chilly, too.
Well, you'll soon warm up when you start moving.
It's a bit of an effort to crawl at the moment. I feel like a heavyweight run to seed.
Well, give me a hand with one of these rotorcycles.
Okay.
Right, I'll help. You're not telling me this thing can really fly.
You know it can.
I haven't used one before.
Well, get it out and I'll explain how it works.
I've got it.
Good. We may as well heave the second one out while we're at it.
Okay. Here it comes, Hickey.
Right.
Now, open up your machine, Mac. As you see, it consists of a seat with a small power unit behind it, and that drives the rotor blade which buzzes over your head.
Yeah, I know all that. Just show me the controls.
Okay, get into the seat.
All right.
Now, you've got one lever for elevation and turning.
Yeah, simple enough.
Throttle control here,
Mm-hmm.
and the starter button.
Yeah. You got all that, Hickey?
Yes, okay.
Is that the lot, Chris?
Yes, sure. And the machine can lift a couple of men at a pinch, so you can bring Bob back with you by air.
Well. What's the ceiling?
12,000 feet. It's enough to get you through the mountains and over towards Unity headquarters.
Yes, I know the bearing to follow, but we'd better stop about a mile before we get there, Hickey. Otherwise, those blighters will hear us.
Yeah. By cutting the engine, you'll find you can glide quite a way with the rotor spinning.
What are you trying to do? Finish us off?
Oh, well, of course. Anything for a laugh. Are you all right too, Hickey?
Yes, fine.
Right, now start up, both of you, and I'll be here waiting for you when you come back. Well, all the best, chaps.
Thanks, Chris. We'll be back with Bob. Don't worry. Let's see if these things really work, shall we?
Ah, yes, they do. Well, we're lifting. This is the way to travel.
Follow me, Hickey, and watch out for trouble.
Away a long time, Bob. Tell me, have you any idea what it is they have discovered on his ship?
Yes. Yes, I know only too well.
Why, what do you mean? What is it?
Greta, I'm afraid I'm in trouble. You helped me the last time I was here with Mac and Hickey.
I shouldn't have done it, but I couldn't help remembering our student days. You never noticed me very much, but I never forgot you, Bob.
And I'm not going to forget you. That's why I'll tell you about this thing they found on the ship. It's a radio transmitter.
What?
Yes, I used it as a radio beacon. My people at CSP will have been listening for it, and they'll have tracked it right here.
But the interference...
It makes no difference. The transmissions bypass it. Unity's finished, Greta. You must get away before it's too late.
Oh, you don't know what you're saying.
Yes, I know very well what I'm saying. There's a good possibility that these headquarters will be blown sky high. You must go while you can.
You really are serious, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
And what if I tell Kramer what you just told me?
It doesn't matter. As soon as he sees the transmitter, he won't need to be told what's happened. He'll know.
And do you know the penalty you'll pay for this?
I've got a pretty good idea.
You're very calm about it.
Well, there's not much I can do. I can't get away.
Oh, you stupid idiot. You've no excuse for this.
No, none at all.
Oh, then why did you do...
There he is, the treacherous dog!
What have you got to say for yourself, Britton?
What about?
You know perfectly well. Who gave you the transmitter?
I have nothing to say.
Leave him to me, Kramer. I know how to deal with traitors.
Traitors? I've never become a member of your foul organization.
That's enough.
One moment, Gelbin. Captain Britton, you have tried to play a double game, but as far as you are concerned, it is all over.
I fully realize that.
I thought you might. So I want you to know the full measure of your achievement as it affects your friends in the Commomwealth Space Project. You see, you have not only tricked us, but them as well, because you have brought about their total annihilation.
So ends the 13th episode of Orbiter X, an adventure in the conquest of space by B.D. Chapman. It was produced for the BBC by Charles Maxwell.
Thank you for listening. If you enjoy what I'm doing, I ask you to please subscribe to my channel or channels. Well, hope you enjoyed, and until next time, stay safe, wish you well, peace.